when I got kids come in the gym that never played basketball before skating, that you have to learn how to dribble without traveling. You have to learn how to make layups before we shoot threes. Yeah. You have to be able to do this before we do that and do this before that. And it's going to be a long process. Basketball's an 8-9 month season, but when we're done, you're going to be a completely different kid than you are now.
Yeah.
And one funnel away is 30 days. And, when you start and when you finish, even if you don't get it completely finished on the first try, you're going to have something. You're going to be like, I'm different than I was 30 days ago. And it's a really cool experience.
Boom, what's going on, everyone? It is Steve Larson. Welcome back to the One Funnel Away Story Show. I am asking amazing entrepreneurs what their stories have been from failure to freedom, all the different businesses they've tried, how they personally have grown, and there's a lot of inspiration and lessons inside these. I have the pleasure of having on with me today John Wheeler. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being on it.
What's happening? I'm humbled to be here. This is fantastic.
Yeah, excited to have you. I asked for a list of all the people from the ClickFunnels internal team. I'm like, hey, who would be kind of fun to have on here? And your name popped up, and I'm like, oh yeah, I've been watching you, I've been seeing you, so credit to you.
Oh, it's very, very cool because I missed it the first time around, so I'm bummed. I had a chance to talk to him and didn't get on. So this is when John got the call, it's great.
Yeah, very, very excited to have you on here as well. So I guess just to start out, what is it that you do?
So I start out. I've got my 9 to 5. I work in a family business. We actually work on like power plant diesel engines, the power generation industry. So big time, 400,000 pound engines is kind of crazy. But wow. I started out, read and Rich Dad Poor Dad like everyone else. Got into real estate, got into Forex. But I've been doing network marketing since I was probably 19. Yeah. So for almost 20 years, I've been doing network marketing. Never really had any success. But after finding Robert Kiyosaki, I found Mike Dillard. And I'm like, well, let me try to get his stuff, that magnetic sponsoring. Let's try to get that into the network marketing side. I never could really get it to the online stuff. I couldn't get the way that he did his online stuff. I couldn't figure out how to make the websites the way he did and all of that.
Right.
Then I found Russell shortly after. I was like, well, maybe I could do something in marketing. That'd be kind of cool. And then I found, I see you in the background all the time. Then once you started breaking away and doing your stuff, I started following you. I'm like, well, I could do marketing the way Steve's doing it. Maybe I can get into an ad agency or funnel building or something like that. And I started making websites back when Angel Fire was a thing. So
okay,
back in the mid 95, 96, I used the Angel Fire to build websites. So
I remember Angel Fire. I've heard that word for a long time.
I know, yeah. I didn't think of it until like last week. So
yeah.
But no, it wasn't until I've been also been coaching basketball since I was right out of high school. So I go through all of this, and I'm trying to do all of these things. Like I said, real estate, Forex, network marketing. I work in my full-time job, and also trying to coach basketball, which is like another full-time job. It just ended up being too much.
Right.
And what I kind of finally realized last September, when I took OFA and then I went to OfferMind, I'm like, I'm just going to go back to what I know and what can execute right away.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's a huge market or a big enough market to go, but it's what I can know and execute, and that was basketball. So
cool. Yeah, hence the background.
Obviously. Yeah, the background. That's right. Yeah.
That's awesome. So what do you do now then? You're coaching, but you're using the internet to also do so.
I've actually been I've stopped physically coaching about 4 or 5 years ago when my wife and I got married, had a son.
Yeah.
And then but what I'm doing is I'm building basically a program for basketball coaches, and the coaches isn't the biggest market as players will be eventually.
Sure.
But I just kind of want to start talking to coaches. Those are kind of my peer level. And right now with the atmosphere of the world, I can't go to a gym with 10 players and actually make videos and stuff yet.
Right.
But we'll get to that eventually.
That's cool. So I'm just taking notes here. So you're making a program for basketball coaches themselves and helping them obviously be a better coach.
Be a better coach. Yeah. And I'm actually starting with, I ran a specific offense called the Princeton offense. And it's actually one of the most complicated, mysterious, secret kind of offenses out there. The guys that started it, the college coaches at Princeton and Air Force and Richmond, those guys, they wouldn't share anything. Back in the 90s and go all the way back to 89 when Princeton was almost the first 16 seed upset a number 1 seed in Georgetown.
Really?
Lost by 1 point. But those coaches would never, coaches would try, it's a copycat just like funnel building, it's a copycat league, copycat profession. Everyone's going to go try to learn from everyone else, but no one could ever learn this Princeton offense. So I spent 7 years as an assistant when I learned it. And then I was like, well, that's what I'm going to do when I become a head coach. So I was a head coach for 4 years. I was like, well, this is what I did. So that's what I'm teaching right now. Is I'm teaching other coaches who want to run the Princeton offense. And obviously, the neat thing about coaching is I can, do a program on that. And I can do a program on the defensive side. I can do a program on how to teach your players how to be better ball handlers. There's all kinds of different skills, and you can have a lot of little products. I'm still trying to learn if I can sell a more high ticket product with this. I've only been doing it for a few months, so.
Yeah,
but so far so good. We've done 2 launches, and I made over $1,000 twice. So that's huge for me.
That's sweet. Yeah, that's a huge deal.
Absolutely, yeah.
That $1,000 mark is like such a huge deal. That's like, oh man, huge congrats.
We just did it this weekend, and I had 11 people in the live, and 3 people bought a $197 product.
Oh wow!
So percentage wise, like that was pretty cool. Then I sold 3 more over the weekend with all the follow up stuff. So it's, I just, if I can figure out how to get more people watching, I think I can, I think we can sweeten it up a little bit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and you certainly can do what you are with funnels, and it definitely can work,
Absolutely.
Yeah. There's it's easy. Sorry, he's escaping my head right now. It's the guy who does the jump manual.
Okay. Jacob Hiller. So
yeah.
I bought that in like 1998. Or whenever it came out. I was in high school, and I wanted to learn how to jump. I found that online, and I bought it.
Yeah.
And then when I read .com Secrets, like the year or so it came out, that first paragraph was like, Russell Brunson's friends with Jacob Hiller. What? I was like, if I could have just got hooked in just a little bit sooner, I'd be sitting where you are and Russell is and all that stuff. But better late than never.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time. It's amazing how fast things happen, though, once the right combination of things come together. So that's huge, though. Congrats to you.
Oh yeah.
So you're going in and you're teaching basketball coaches how to be a better coach, the different programs, different plays they can run. Which I mean, I actually think that's a pretty awesome sized market. I mean, really, honestly, that's awesome. You obviously played basketball or were super into it, and that's how I probably got down into it.
Yeah.
When did you start trying to make it like a business, though, like this?
I decided to switch. I said, just put network marketing aside, put everything else I was doing aside.
Yeah.
Probably last June, middle of last summer.
Cool.
Because it came time where I was like, I've got to execute on something.
Right.
And I just don't know everything well enough. I'm not extrovert enough to really do network marketing the way that I've been taught before.
Right.
And I've been following you with that. I'm like, I'd like to maybe do that eventually, do that again. We'll give that another shot down the road. But I wanted to execute on something, make something work, so that I'd have the confidence to do the next thing and do the next thing. And realistically, I think what's going to happen is I'm going to take this and use this as a case study to help other marketers get started.
Yeah.
So I didn't do $50,000 my first launch, but I did $1,000, and that's that's huge.
That is big.
Yeah,
that's a huge deal. Yeah, first 4-figure launch. I mean, that's.
Yeah.
I remember back in the day, I'd be like, if I could just make $1,000 in a month, like it would change my life. Like, it's a huge deal.
Paying a mortgage. Yeah.
Yeah, huge deal. So you've gone in and, like I said, so you're doing the program for basketball coaches.
Yep.
And I like that you were just describing, like, there's eventually this feeling that happens. And you just said it, and it's cool because, I don't know, I haven't asked too many people if they had this, but I totally did. Where eventually it was like this feeling where it was like, so just like you said, enough. Like, enough. What is it? Just let me go for it. And I felt like I was already there, but it's like this continual recalling back to basics, which also sifted down the fluff stuff I was engaged in. And, which is, I think a lot of people go through that, which is why we actually try a lot of stuff. And one of the main reasons. Because we're just like, let's try this. And we just like fish in tons of different pots. And finally like, okay, I'm going all in on one fish pond.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's and all the way you have all those obstacles in your way. So, early on I was doing way too much. And then when I finally stepped away from basketball, my wife and I got married, we had a son. It ended up at 17 months. We found out he had some really life-threatening heart conditions. So throughout the summer of 2018, we actually spent 5 months at Nationwide Children's Hospital here in Columbus. Then we got stuck there. We were saying, hey, we're either going to put you on hospice or you need to go somewhere else. So we went to Cincinnati Children's, lived there for 3 months. And he was a miracle from the first surgery on. He's had 5 open heart surgeries. He's doing amazing now. But it comes to the point where you also have that something that, I didn't have like enough pushing it externally because we were comfortable enough. I don't think it's something that we talk about as entrepreneurs enough. Is sometimes you're just never starving. And if you're never starving, you never just, go after it.
Yeah.
And it was just, we're always comfortable enough. But internally, it's like now it's to the point where, my son's he's doing great. He's going to be a year or 2 behind and everything for a while. But I want to be able to leave him with something to give him some kind of advantage as he gets older.
I love
and
that.
I think that was like an internal drive for me that really kind of flipped the switch and kind of pushed me a little bit, because I think last September, when I came to OfferMind, that was like pretty much the 1-year anniversary of us being home from the hospital. So I said, hey, I'm going to go do this Idaho thing. My wife's like, what are you doing? And I was like, trust me, it'll be okay. So, but anyway, it's you have that if you don't have that external stuff and you find that internal stuff, or, like I said, when you're coaching basketball, when we talked about the one funnel away, I kind of, in my mind, I keep saying, if I'm going to be successful, it's like, as a basketball coach, I can make my players successful. We're in the gym, because now if they want to play basketball, they're forced to come to the gym every day and get in the gym with me physically. And I get to yell at them and push them and do drills. Yeah. And we do all the skills, and then we put the offense in, and then we put the defense in, and then we put the special situations in. And when you're an entrepreneur at home, everyone says, and you say it, Russell say it, it's a lonely sport. Entrepreneurship it's a lonely sport. You don't have someone in your face all the time. And I think that's what I got from One Funnel Away more than anything. I did it twice. I think I bought it once while we were in the hospital. Yeah. So I had something to do. And, it was a very, very hard, very dark time. Didn't get to do it. And then I went back to fun. I said, I can't do the videos anymore. And then when I found out you're doing it over and over again, I did it last June. Yeah. And now it's like I had to engage. I feel like when we have players come to the gym, they have to engage. They have to be motivated to say, I want to play basketball. They have to engage with me as a coach 101, right. And 501 and 1001. And then we take action together. Yeah. But, when you're home by yourself, it's like, one, you need something to engage with, and you need a coach to push you. And it's not like I can call you and work with you for 2 hours every day on how to become a better, entrepreneur. So right. One, you have to engage, but you have to have a coach. I think you have to have a coach in every aspect of life. Yeah. So when I started correlating entrepreneurship with what I did with a coach, in my gym, I'm Russell Brunson. When I'm on the basketball court inside with 10 guys, I'm Russell Brunson. And all those kids are me right now. So so that's kind of the once I kind of made that connection, and I just had to go back to what I knew the most and what I could execute on right away. And that's what I decided. Well, let me see if I can build a funnel for basketball coaches, and went to OfferMind and figured out how to make better offers. I started the creative juices started flowing. I started, I could give this away. I said, I could do this for them. I could make a playbook, and I could do a 6-week workshop, and then I can make, as soon as coronavirus goes away, I can go get 10 players in a gym, and I can make professional videos, and I've got all that set up, but now we just can't get in the gym. So, but I was able to sell my course with say, hey, when we do this videos, you're going to get this part of that too. So just building the offer and saying, now I'm actually executing on something, and it's really kind of exciting. So now if I can just figure out how to do it every week and get everything set up to where I can, automate it, get it running, get ads start running. There's not a lot of people selling, professional high ticket courses in this niche. There's a handful of podcasts, but there's nothing like yours. There's nothing like Russell's in this niche. So, I think I'm going to try to break in a lot of different areas, and just the fact that I can finally have something I can execute on, I think was just the biggest takeaway for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that you said that. You have coaches everywhere. And I got to say that was one of the biggest things I learned from Russell when I was sitting watching him. I mean, the dude had coaches for how to dress, what to eat, when to eat, what to lift, morning coaches, super, super, like obscenely early in the morning, right? Where you get up, no matter how tired he was, he just gets up, and then he'll go, and someone will kind of break through his brain. And so by the time he would come in at like 9 a.m., many times, not every morning, but many times, like he'd already gone through 2 coaches, and then later on that night was another one. And then, I mean, the guy, I'd never seen anyone do this. We were so surrounded by coaches 24/7 that makes him do things he would not normally do with his own willpower. And I'm glad you brought that up because it's one of the big keys of entrepreneurship and One Funnel Way is like I think some people think that it's like this weakness. Like it's human tendency to take the path of least resistance and not push ourselves and not go do it. So it's like have a coach that's going to hold your feet to the fire and not give you permission to like let out.
Absolutely. When you do take the One Funnel Way challenge, engage. You have to get in and talk to people, or you have to have something to make you take action and engage every single day. Yeah. And when you do that, you almost have like I don't know. This is the first time we've ever spoken and met. Of course, I watched it offer mine, but it's not like we met. We went out and got to know each other. But you kind of have to have a little bit. It's like, hey, there's Steve. I know Steve. Yeah. And hey, Steve gets to talk to me today. Russell gets to talk to me today. Let's jump on. Let's do this and get excited about it and engage a little bit. So sometimes you have to have that, and then it just kind of motivates you to take action. And again, it's like when I've got kids come in the gym that never played basketball before skating, that you have to learn how to dribble without traveling. You have to learn how to make layups before we shoot threes. Yeah. You have to be able to do this before we do that and do this before that. And it's going to be a long process. Basketball's an 8-9 month season. But when we're done, you're going to be a completely different kid than you are now. Yeah. And One Funnel Way is 30 days. And when you start and when you finish, even if you don't get it completely finished on the first try, it's like you're going to have something. You're going to be like, I'm different than I was 30 days ago. And it's a really cool experience. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so key. I think it's just so key. Yeah. You learn the business skills. You learn how to dribble. Learn how to lay up and stuff. But
exactly.
You show up to all aspects of life, not just business or basketball, like the same anymore. I'm different with my family. I'm different. I wake up, I arrive, and that is, oh my gosh, that is like the reason why I do this, because it is so fun to watch. It's not like I'm not trying to like slam on other things like that or whatever, but like it's not like I don't see too many people actively, willingly enrolling in life coaching, but by like a byproduct of being in entrepreneurship, they do. So I think that's why I like it so much. We get better because we're in business, because we have to, or the business will die. So
like I said, when I got into coaching, it kind of fell into it because when I started out as a volunteer. I couldn't jump right in. I've never coached, but I've played for 5 or 6 years, in middle school and high school, but I'd never coached before. So I was a volunteer, and the head coach actually became, a very good mentor and became one of my best friends. Oh. And when I have he's probably 20 years older than I am. So when I have, issues in any part of life, I can, even non-basketball related, I can go to him and he can, share some wisdom and experience with me. And that's kind of like having a life coach is, and that for me, it happened through basketball and through entrepreneurship. I followed Tony Robbins more than I was 20 years ago, and yourself and everyone that is involved with this world. So it's just fantastic.
Absolutely. Well, so you've got all the stuff that's going on right now. You just went through 2 successful launches. What's the next step for you to grow what you're doing now?
Finding new ways to publish. So I've got a fan page. I got a Facebook group. Yeah. I'm putting 10, 15 people. They're finding me randomly. And so there's people searching more places to find content. So I'm encouraged by that, but I want to put out a podcast. I want to do something similar to Gary Vee's Ask Gary Vee show. So I've got the Ask Coach Wheeler show that I'm working on, all basketball related, that I'll do in the fan page and in the group and stuff like that. But I want to figure out how to. I heard another podcast of yours or the One Funnel Way stories where someone was like once a month trying to figure out how to do another launch. So like, well, I don't want to do the same launch every month with this one high ticket product. But this is the core thing that I think is the most attractive of what I do with coaching basketball coaches. But I want to eventually start making other small programs. I want to get on the gym, get players in there, make professional videos. I kind of want to change the content that I'm selling for $197. It's like 40 hours of content. For 6 weeks we're on the board. For 6 weeks we do for 6 weeks we do the film breakdown on film. We just do it all on Ecamm and in the Facebook group. Yeah. And I just want to be able to take that, and I need to be able to sell it weekly, and kind of get things going a little bit more consistently. So just trying to figure out what other launches can I do and then sell this on the back end. What free content can I give away and sell this on the back end, whether it's a podcast or Ask Coach Wheeler show or running Facebook ads or anything like that.
Well, good on you. Because honestly, when someone starts doing that, it's like, it kind of solidifies the fact that it will most likely work in the future moving forward at some point. So absolutely.
Yeah.
Whether or not it's whatever you're currently selling or something else.
Yeah. It's really interesting. And like I said, I think big picture, I'd like to, do this as much as I can. If I can make this successful enough, my coaching friends, they want to start a gym where we can actually get players in a gym and do personal training and team training and hold camps there and stuff. And then I'll have access to players every day, which will be cool because now I can, videotape content every single day we're training and start cutting that up and putting that online and doing that. And, if I really love the marketing stuff. I really love what you do and Russell does, what all the other funnel hackers are doing out there. I would love to turn this into a case study and maybe open a door that way to get into the marketing side of the world as well.
Oh, it's awesome. It's awesome. Yeah. Well, John, thanks so much for taking the time being on here, man. It really means a lot.
I'm humbled to be here. It's fantastic. It's really great talking to you one-on-one. This is great.
Yeah. Hey, you too as well. Thank you very much. And for those of you guys who are interested in taking the challenge, go to onefunnelaway.com. Or you can check out the summit where Russell asked 30 internet millionaires what they would do to get everything back in 30 days if they lost it all, which I think is very timely for what's happening. So go to 30days.com as well. But thanks for being on the show, John. This has been great.
Thanks, Steve. Enjoyed it.